everyone, it's Hailey, and today I'm going to be talking about my November TBR. So the name of the game for November is basically to get caught up on all of the new releases that have come out recently, especially in October, that I haven't read yet. So in October, I was reading a lot of mysteries, a lot of Halloween-y reads, and I didn't end up getting to the many books that came out in October. I did not get to a single one. So I have a pretty big pile of books here, and I honestly don't know how this next month is going to go, especially because I'm going to be doing NaNoWRIMO. I will link to the writing update where I talk a little bit more about that down below for you guys, but I'm going to be NaNoWRIMOing my contemporary project, hoping to get a really big chunk of it done. But additionally, in November, I don't know where I'll be at, but I would really like to be querying agents for Book of Sisters, so I should, fingers crossed, be done with my revisions, but I don't know, like, we'll see how the next little bit ends up going. Either way, I'm pretty sure that getting to new releases that I missed over the year is going to be the theme for the next couple of months TBRs, because there are so many that have come out recently especially, and this year was definitely not a great one for keeping up with new releases for me. So I'm going to do my best to rectify that before Bookmas, because I would like to talk about a lot of the new releases at Bookmas. So it's going to be kind of difficult because I haven't gotten to so many of the new releases. So this next month is going to be really just one big readathon so I can try and get to all of these. So first of all, a really big release that I haven't gotten to yet is Children of Blood and Bone by Toni Adeyemi. This book received endless praise when it first came out. It is still getting so much hype. Part of the reason why I haven't read this is because of that hype. All of that hype definitely intimidates me. Like, what if I don't like it? That will be very tragic. And the other thing is that I really want to be able to dedicate a lot of time to this book, but when I'm writing, I find it really difficult to read another fantasy, so that's why I haven't been able to pick this one up. But when I'm done with Book of Sisters revisions, I will have no more excuses for putting this off anymore. And I think I'm going to listen to the audiobook because a lot of you guys said you really enjoyed the audiobook, and I know I had started listening to it a couple of times and I just like never got into it, but it has a lot of names that I would struggle to pronounce, so I think listening to the audiobook will be very, very helpful for that. I honestly have included this book on so many TBRs that it is just embarrassing at this point, so I need to read it. Next is a very similar case, and that is Bridge of Clay by Markus Zusak. You guys definitely know that I haven't read this yet. It is now out in the wild, but I got my copy at Book Expo this year, and I have had it for so long. Like, Book Expo was back at the end of May, and I haven't gotten to this yet. Now, this is another one where I didn't read it because I really wanted to be able to dedicate the time to it, but I think I might actually listen to the audiobook for this one. That wasn't my initial plan, but then I saw that the audiobook is actually narrated by Markus Zusak, so I feel like that very much intrigues me, and I love when an audiobook is narrated by the author, so I'm kind of inclined to do that. Let me know if you have done that, if you enjoyed the audiobook or what, but I'm so intimidated by this book. I love Markus Zusak. He is the author of The Book Thief, and that is one of my absolute favorite books of all time. So I haven't read any of his other books because I'm so intimidated. Like, I'm so excited for this, but what if I don't like it once again? It is just a terrifying thing, but I really need to read this because his writing is beautiful and I feel like I'll probably like it, and even if I don't, at least I will know. Next is An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. So this book, I believe I am going to be reading with a couple of friends. I don't entirely know if that's still happening. I'll have to check, but if we are doing that, I would really like to try and get to it this month. I've actually heard a lot of mixed things about this. Quite a few people that I know really, really loved it, but then quite a few people that I know also didn't like it. I feel like his writing might be a little bit quirky and something that is not for everyone, but I do have really high hopes for this story, and it will definitely be an out of my comfort zone read in a sense because it is an adult contemporary, which is something that I don't generally read, but the main character, I think she's around my age. Yeah, she's 23, so it won't be like that far out of my comfort zone. I feel like it'll be different to read a character that's actually my age. Next is Catwoman Soulstealer by Sarah J. Maas. I actually haven't heard too much about this book. There's a lot of hype leading up to its release because, of course, Sarah J. Maas, all of her books are really hyped before they come out, and I think actually what I have heard is that if you do know Catwoman, you won't really like this, but I don't know really that much about Catwoman at all, so I feel like I'm set up to enjoy it. Either way, I think it's going to be a very interesting read for me. This is one that that I believe I'm going to go the audiobook route for, but we'll see. Next is The Darkest Legacy by Alexandra Bracken. This is the highly anticipated next novel in the Darkest Mind series, and I was really excited leading up to its release, and this one I definitely haven't really heard any reviews of, but I'm very excited to read it still. I haven't gotten the chance to pick it up. It's honestly, this year has flown by so quickly. I was like, I'm gonna have so much time to read all of these books, but it's just so difficult for me to read when I'm revising and when I'm trying to do video stuff. Like, I'm struggling to balance my time recently, so there have been so many new releases that I've been so excited for, and I haven't gotten to any of them, and it's very tragic. Next is What If It's Us by Becky, Albertalli, and Silvera. I was spoiled for the ending of this. It's very rare, admittedly, that I get spoiled for things, so I mean, there's not much I can do about it. I am still very excited to read this book because I do love these authors so much, and I think that their writing styles are going to blend beautifully together, so I will still be reading it, but I have to admit, I am really sad that I know how it ends. Like, that's just very tragic, but I will go into it with an open mind nonetheless. Next is The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy by Mackenzi Lee. This is another one that I will definitely be listening to the audiobook for because these audiobooks are amazing. They are so great. I love the narrator. I love The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, which is the first book in this series. The audiobook for that was just so great. It's because it's such a fun and lively story, so it is perfect to listen to on audiobook. And I'm so excited to learn more about Felicity, get her perspective on things. I just can't wait to listen to this. Next is A Blade So Black by L.L. McKinney. This is an Alice in Wonderland retelling that released in September, and I've had the arc for quite a while, once again since Book Expo, which is a major theme here, but I would really like to either listen to this or read this, not too sure yet, especially because I want to do an Alice retellings recommendations video, so this definitely needs to be off of my list before I do that. But it is described as Buffy the Vampire Slayer meets Alice in Wonderland, which, wow, why did I struggle to remember what I was talking about? But that combination seems really interesting, so we'll see how it goes. Next is Pride by Ibi Zoboi, which is a Pride and Prejudice retelling, and I've heard some really good things about it, so I would really like to read it, especially because I have read Pride and Prejudice, so I feel like it'll be an interesting retelling to read. Now, I haven't actually read a ton of sequels this year, which sucks. I've been definitely slacking on that, so one that I would like to read is A Reaper at the Gates by Sabaa Tahir. I haven't really read this because I feel like I need to refresh my memory so much on the previous two books because I don't remember what happened at all, so I'll have to go and see if like Recaptains has anything on it or whatever, but I don't really want to like reread the books. If anything, I would reread A Torch Against the Night, but I've heard this is like one wild ride, so I would really like to get to it. I also would, of course, like to get to Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas, which I don't have yet because it's not out when I'm filming this video, but I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I know enough about the series right now to be able to read it, so that's another one. We'll have to wait and see if I actually can read it because I feel like I remember nothing from that series at all. Like, once again, if anything, I would reread Tower of Dawn. I don't really know. They're such long books and they take me forever to read, so ideally I would like to just be able to dive into it. And the final book on this TBR is actually one that will be coming out next year, and that is The Wicked King by Holly Black. This is once again a sequel though, but I would like to read this so then my mom can take it to my sister because my sister really loved The Cruel Prince, so she's going for like American Thanksgiving. She's going to visit my sister in California, so I have kind of a deadline to read it before then, so then she can read it, but I don't know when I'm gonna read it. I really do want to read it. Like, I'm very excited to see where the series is gonna go, especially after The Cruel Prince had like a wild ending. I just haven't been in such a mood for fantasy when I'm writing it so much, but I'm gonna have to make myself in a mood for fantasy. But those are all of the books on my TBR for November. Like I said, I will be happy if I read like, I don't know, 5 of them. That would be good. But as usual, if you have read any of these books, please let me know your thoughts on them so then I can kind of prioritize my list and decide what I'm going to try and get to, so then the ones that I miss I won't feel so bad about. But if you wanted to become a Booklander and join the Bookland family, don't forget to click that subscribe button and then click that bell icon so you'll be notified whenever I post. I put up new videos every Wednesday and Friday, and I'm also part of the Bookmarked live show every Tuesday. I totally forgot when that was, but all that info is down below for you guys. You can also follow me on all of my social media, all of my handles, links, all that fun stuff will be down below as well. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys have a very happy November. It is my birthday month, so that is exciting, but I'll be doing a lot of writing. It's gonna be busy, but hopefully it will still be fun. All right, that was weird. Okay, bye!